Welcome fans of Fate Grand Order. I am Avon, you are watching FGO Tips, and today we're talking about this year's Chaldea Boys Collection. The first time we saw this event last year, it was a nice follow-up to the all-girls Valentine's event. This year, the Valentine's event featured the guys and girls, but we still get our updated version of the Chaldea Boys Collection nevertheless. This one won't take long, but there are some decisions to make. So without further ado, let's get started. This year, the event will start Wednesday night, March 6th, and run until March 20th. On the first day, you'll receive 2 types of special invitations. Each can be exchanged for one of the event limited CEs of your choice. There are 9 new options this year, and you'll have to pick just one. There's even the returning 8 from last year, and you'll be able to grab one of those also. If you want the full details on last year's CEs, you can check out the video link in the upper corner, or in the description below. For now though, I want to run through the 9 new CEs as quick as we can. The 3-star CE, La Siesta, features fun art with Asterios, Edison, and Merlin. You can even find Chibi Coulter and Jason in there as well. The CE will recover 50 HP per turn for the servant equipped, charge their NP gauge by 1%, and provide a single critical star. I love this image, but with all the other options out there, you probably don't want to pick a 3-star CE. There's 2 more of them though, and the next one is Neverland, featuring Kid Gil, Robin, and Edward Teach. This one will increase critical star generation rate by 4%, critical damage by 4%, and NP damage by 4%. The last 3-star is Quatre Feuilles. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, I'm sorry. But this one features Mozart, Phantom, Shakespeare, and Hans. It's going to boost Buster, Arts, and Quick Performance by 2%, as well as increasing your mental debuff success rate by 3%. The first 4-star option is Operation Fionna, featuring Fionna, Diarmuid, and, for some reason, Charles Babbage. It will start your battle with 10 crit stars and boost Buster performance for your servant by 8%. It's not terrible if you're running a special setup and trying to end the fight on the first round, but you're probably better off with something like Golden Captures the Carp from the Rashomon event, which starts you off with 15 or 20 crit stars. If you missed that, good news, because we're due for a rerun in about 2 months. The next 4-star is Outrage, featuring Rama, Billy, Coulter, and Hector. It applies Taunt on your servant for 1 turn and increases their NP generation by 15%. And although Taunt is helpful in certain situations, it's hard to time it so the first turn is the right time. I think you're better off relying on Gouda Gouda Poster Girl, which applies Taunt for 3 turns instead. And if you don't have that yet, make sure not to miss out on the Gouda Gouda rerun, which will probably starting in the next week or 2. The last 4-star option is Cafe Camelot, featuring Arthur, Hohenheim, and Ozzy. This is our first glance at Arthur Pendragon, the male counterpart to our favorite King of Knights. More on him in a bit, but for now, the CE will increase healing received, debuff resistance, and defense of a servant by 8%. Unfortunately, spreading the effect across these 3 different things makes each one so small that it doesn't help that much. I would prefer a more specialized CE like Present for My Master to boost healing by 40%, or False Attendance Writings to boost debuff resistance by 15% or more after limit break. This leaves us with the 3 5-star options. The first one, As You Wish, features Tristan, Gawain, Lancelot, and Bedivere. It's going to grant invincibility for 1 turn and increase NP generation by 25%. There might be some use for this if you want to throw it on someone in the back line and swap them in right before an enemy NP or the like, but otherwise the first turn of invincibility is going to get wasted most of the time, and for the long drawn out fights, you're only really benefiting from the 25% gain. You can get the same effect from Divine Banquet, which you probably have from banner rolls already. If you've limit broken it, it's actually even better at 30%. And there's also my personal favorite, Halloween Petite Devil, which gives you almost as much gain and starts you with 50% of your bar full already. The second 5-star option is the Dantes files, featuring Shiro, Dantes, and Emiya. It will let your servant ignore invincibility and increase Art's performance by 8%. This one is not bad if you're up against an enemy that tends to throw down an invincibility buff frequently, and it serves as the Art's counterpart to the previous CE Decapitating Bunny. Don't worry, by the way, the Buster version will be coming. We just have to wait another 14 months or so. All in all, this CE might be my second choice, but it doesn't compare to the last entry on this list. 5-star Conversation on the Hot Sands features Enkidu and Gil, and on top of boosting crit star absorption by 400%, it will also boost critical damage by 20%. Hands down, the best combination of abilities on any of these CEs if you ask me. This is perfect for heavy-hitting servants that can't naturally pull stars away from your star generators, like Berserkers and even Jalter herself. If you've been watching for a while, you know that last year I picked a similar CE, Teacher and I, for almost the same reason. Letting you build a party with a crit star generator and a big heavy hitter to use those stars is even more important now than ever, because you're going to need to deal sustained damage over a long time to bosses with break bars, instead of a single round of burst damage like the good old days. That's why this one gets my pick and serves my needs the most. But your needs, they might be different, so don't feel obligated to pick it just because I did. I also wouldn't blame anyone who picked just for the limited edition art of their favorite best boys either. Oh, and speaking of best boys, as promised, we still have to talk about Arthur Pendragon. He looks a bit like a clone of Altria, but with a few key differences. Although they each share the same mana burst and instinct, Arthur drops charisma in favor of a skill that charges his NP by 20%. And, bonus, increases damage against large enemies by up to 100%. This makes him a better farmer thanks to his ability to turn a K-scope into a fully charged NP gauge on the first turn, and sometimes a better slayer of bosses as long as they bear the large trait. And although Arthur and Altria share the same riding and magic resistance passives, Arthur comes in with less HP and more attack than Altria. And finally, their NPs. Although similar in base stats, Arthur drops Altria's NP recharge effect in favor of up to 50% additional NP damage. While it makes it harder to pull off repeat NPs, each one will hurt that much more. He's going to be a bit less tanky than Altria though, and not as supportive without her charisma buff. But don't take my word for it, you can judge for yourself. You'll have the opportunity to try him out during the trial quest running during the same days. The banner will feature Arthur on Raid Up every day, although some days he'll be sharing the spotlight with others, so make sure to pick your time and roll carefully. If you're like me and you still haven't picked up Waver, this is one of those semi-rare chances to try again. This banner is also going to feature all of the CEs we mentioned on Raid Up as well, so if you're thinking about rolling, I recommend saving your special invitation until afterwards. Use it to pick up whatever you didn't get on the banner, or the final copy you need to limit break something if you're lucky. Let me know which ones you're hoping for, and what you're planning to exchange for. To everyone rolling, I wish you good luck with your summons. To everyone else, well, at least you can enjoy checking out the fun portraits of Chaldea's best boys. And most of all, thank you for watching.